So as we draw closer to the elections, on the AM report, we've been running a series inviting different voices from different political parties, independent candidates, all the way up to young voices. Now, from this week, we start to focus on those who are 18 years or just a little bit older, who'll be voting for the very first time in the upcoming elections. But not just that, some of them standing in these elections for the various political parties, and also an opportunity for us to learn what these parties are essentially promising to the electorate. Now, the United Africans Transformation this coming Sunday, the 28th, they'll be launching their manifesto. Let's unpack the manifesto with this party, the United African Transformation's Khutjo Thoka, who is only 19 years old. Khutjo, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to start with this. 19 years old, you are incredibly young, and you're running as a candidate, as one of the candidates for the United Africans Transformation. Talk to me about why you decided to enter the political sphere at such a young age, and why this particular party?
Good morning to you and also the viewers at home. UAT, to start with, I joined UAT because let me just briefly give you an overview of UAT. UAT is a black party that is founded by blacks. It's funded by blacks. It is for blacks, where we infer our norms and values to the ideology of Pan-Africanism and the spirit of Ubuntu, where we inspirit our people to be independent and feed themselves without depending on the Europeans and the white monopoly. And also we encourage them to share the little that they have with those around them. That's why we say moto ke moto ka batho. So me joining UAT, I was attracted by UAT in Limpopo, where I saw them building houses, fully furnished houses to the poor of the poorest, and also giving out food parcels to the neighbors that came to witness the house opening. That's when I decided, it's high time that I took part, or I partake in politics and join UAT, since it's the only political party that acts and then their action speaks for them. That's the reason that I joined UAT. Let
me pick your brain a little bit, because as you started, Khutjo, you emphasized the fact that it's a black party, black funded a party, and you've talked about the challenges of what you've called white monopoly capital, white monopoly. What do you understand white monopoly to be? I'm just picking your brain, really.
I didn't hear you clearly.
What you talked about, how it's a party that is against white monopoly capital. What is that? What is white monopoly capital in your view? What do you understand that term to mean?
I can just say that white monopoly is us being led by the Europeans, the white people.
Okay, all right. And what is it that you want to see this party do, particularly for people of your age? I mean, 18, 19 years old, you're just about to enter the workforce, or hopefully go to varsity as well as you leave school. What does your party promise for your age group?
UAT will bring one and free educational system. That's what we need, because being a student, I've realized that the qualifications that are being offered at higher institutions of learning, they're not necessarily speaking to what we need as an economy. So we need one and free educational system. Also, we need adequate and proper service delivery in terms of housing, healthcare, water and sanitation, infrastructure, electricity, and so on. And also, UAT will be bringing the creation of jobs through industrialization of townships and rural economies. And also, we want law and order. So we can fight GBV, human trafficking, and substance abuse as well.
Okay, that's very interesting. The president of the party, UAT, that being the United Africans Transformation, is Sishungwane Matabata. He's, of course, been questioned quite a lot about the party being linked to the IPHC Church. He said he'd like to strengthen the point that the UAT is owned by people on the ground, not the church. But tell us about what you know about Sishungwane Matabata, who essentially is the leader of the party. Why have you decided to be in a party that is followed by this particular individual? What is it about that leader?
Firstly, let me correct this. The leader or the president of the party is none other than Dr. Wanda Mahlatsi. And IPAC is not related to UAT in any way. UAT is a political party, but it accepts or it accommodates all beliefs and religions. Mm-hmm. So IPAC is a church, UAT is a political party.
Mm. So do you then believe, I mean, and it's an interesting point that we've touched on that, right, that IPHC is a church and it's not linked to the party, but do you then believe in South Africa's, I suppose, view that South Africa is a multi-faith country and that all religions should be able to practice their faith freely?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Tell me this. You've got young people that are about your age who are considering to go out and vote. Talk to me about why it's important that even first-time voters such as yourselves have come out to vote, especially as we look at going into the registration period, especially. There was a big chunk of young people, first-time voters that have registered to vote. Why do you think this election is attractive to them and why they should go out and vote on the 29th of May?
I would say that young people should vote. It's high time that we vote for change. Mm. It has been 30 years of corrupt democracy, according to me, because we are still being led by the Europeans. The young people should go and vote for the change that they want to see, because still we are struggling as a country. We are still struggling. There is no employment. There is still no good. Everything, the economy is still suffering a lot. So young people should go and vote for the change that we want to see. And also make sure you vote for UAT. UAT will bring the change that we need as young people.
Okay, I see you're hitting the campaign train already. Let me ask you this. You talk about how we suffer so much corruption in the country. Talk to me about that in a little bit more detail. Some of the challenges that you see. And I'm talking from a leadership point of view that point to the corruption that you talk about. What is it that most concerns you as a 19-year-old candidate?
Firstly, I will start on the side of students, since I'm a student. Students suffer to get into higher institutions of learning. For if we were employed, if after graduating we got employed, we pay tax, the younger generation that comes after us will be able to be in higher institutions of learning and get funded. Due to corruption, due to older people, the 70-year-old who are still in the working force, they are still there, while younger people with qualifications are at home sitting doing nothing. So this explains actually to us already where are we headed as a country.
Okay, and if you were to supposedly tell us about your political ambitions, what ministry would you want to see yourself in and why?
Now all I want to see is us being in a free and democratic country. As I've mentioned before, that we've got freedom, as they said, but it's corrupt freedom. What I truly do want, and most especially on our economy, we need to see technical skills being offered to our people. Our people being taught technical skills. We have mining industry. Let that benefit our own people. Let the resources of South Africa benefit its people. That's what mainly I want to see.
Yeah, that is absolutely brilliant. What have your parents said when you tell them that you are a candidate for a political party running for the elections, the United Africans Transformation Party? What's the response from your parents and your peers, your friends?
Firstly, I would say I'm very grateful for their support, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am today. My parents, they are very delighted that I'm taking part in a political party that's progressive and is bringing change to young people. And also I'm encouraging my peers that we should partake in politics, because politics is our everyday life. We are involved in politics. And what I can tell them is that they might say that politics are scary. Yes, I do agree. But then what I tell myself every day when I go out to recruit, when I go out to campaign, I say that the age of a young politician doesn't determine our ability to lead. It's our dedication and values that matters.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
what I can say.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying listening to, your views on this, and I think you're so right. Khutjo, let me ask you this. You talked about access to education and opportunities for young people. This is a space that you're still going to be entering because you're only 19. Are you studying at the moment? What are those challenges looking like for you?
I am studying at the moment. I'm a second-year student at UT Bolokwane campus, and already I can see the struggle that students are in. We don't have finances. We don't have adequate learning. What I can say?
Yeah.
We don't have adequate learning. What can I say?
Resources, all the resources that you need. Yeah.
Resources, yes, I can say. And then good students are suffering at the utmost. Like Izagamas, for the direct payment it has affected students. Some are just home now, they are just deregistered, and there's nothing that we can do. So all I want is one and free educational system for all of us.
Yeah. Khutjo, I will be watching closely to see how you perform, and thank you so much for speaking to us, and certainly for reminding young people your age as well the importance of being politically active, watching what's happening on the political sphere, but also to go out and vote on the 29th of May. She's 19 years old. Her name is Khutjo Thoka, and she is with the United Africans Transformation, a candidate for the party in the upcoming elections. Can I just tell you, Alton, as someone who has done a lot of youth work, in the media space, I'm just so delighted to see that sort of energy in young South Africans, because I think that there's a perception that young South Africans don't understand politics, they don't understand civic action or active citizenry. That just made my day.
Yeah. And now, if the party is successful and she does make it to parliament, it would mean that you'll have somebody who is actually part of a constituency, a big constituency in higher education,
100%.
who can express in parliament what their views are about the experiences of young people in the various universities and higher education institutions. So good luck to her. Let's see how she would be faring.
Yeah, 19 years old. She knows what she's talking about. All right.